Hello everyone and welcome to the part 2 of my Python course. So in the last video we learned how to install Python using pip, we learned how to install Jupyter notebook, and we learned about different data types and operators in Python. So now we are going to learn about how to install Python using Anaconda. So there are two ways to work with Python. One is using pip and one is using Anaconda. So Anaconda is a distribution of Python and R programming languages for specific computing that aims to simplify package management and deployment. So it is particularly aimed for data scientists. So in order to install Anaconda, just go to your browser and type Anaconda. Alright. Okay. So you can either download Anaconda, but what I like to do is I like to install miniconda. So Anaconda is a graphical user interface and miniconda is a command line interface. So number of packages in miniconda is a little less as compared to Anaconda, but most of the work of a data scientist can be done using miniconda only. So to download miniconda, just go to your browser and type miniconda. Click on the first link that pops up and you can download miniconda using here. So during installation there will be an option to either check or uncheck add miniconda to path. So for now just keep it unchecked. So after that just go to your start and type miniconda and the Anaconda prompt will open up. Alright, so one little tip while working with command line, you can just type color space 0A and this will just turn everything green, which looks cool. So and type CLS to clear everything. So one thing you will be noticing here is that it's written base over here. So what does this mean? So Anaconda provides us with the ability to create environments. Now environments are a package of different libraries which we can create for specific tasks in our data science work. So as a data scientist, it is very important to keep all your packages in separate environments in order to avoid any mix-up. So before we do anything else, just type conda update conda. What it will do is it will just update all the packages. It's good practice to do so. And let's just wait. Okay, all the packages are already updated in mine. So now we'll create a new environment. I already have an environment called data science. So for this video we'll create an environment called data science 2. So just type conda create --name data underscore science 2. You can just type data science. Alright, so it's doing that. Press Y. So now that's done. If you want to see all the environments that you have, you can just type conda env list. As you can see, I have three environments. One is base, the other is data science, and the third one is data science 2, which we just created. If you want, you can install all your packages in the base environment, but it is good practice to install different packages in different environments. So let's just activate the new environment that we created. For that, just type conda activate data underscore science 2. Right. Now you can see from base we are into the data science 2 environment. Right. So now before we install any packages in our environment, we just need to type two things first, which is conda config --, add channels conda forge. Right. I typed it wrong. You can just press the up arrow key. It will just show the previous command that we just typed. So you can make any changes from here. Alright, channels conda forge. Now we need to type conda config set channel underscore priority strict. Okay, I just made another mistake. Okay, priority strict. Alright, so now that's done, we can just install all our packages that we need. So just type conda install pandas scikit learn matplotlib notebook stats models numpy and press enter. Alright, so now that all our libraries have installed, let's talk about where we are going to code. So we are going to code in the Visual Studio Code, and for that just go to your browser and type Visual Studio Code and click on the first link that pops up and download from here based on the operating system you have. Right, so once you open it, it will look something like this. So before we start coding, we just have to install two extensions. One is Jupyter, the Jupyter notebook. Click on the one with Microsoft and install it here. I have already installed, that's why it's showing this. And the other thing is Python. Again, click on the one which is published by Microsoft. So once that is done, now we can start coding. Click on the Explorer button here and create open folder. Just create a folder. I'll create one. Name it tutorial. Select folder. Alright. So this button here is used to create a new file. So I'll just type it test.ipynb. That's the extension of a Jupyter notebook. It stands for Interactive Python Notebook. So once that is done, we have to set a kernel. So select Python interpreter and select your environment, data science 2. Okay, and select kernel. Over here you have to select the data science 2 environment. Let's just check if it's all working. Let's just type print hello world and press alt plus enter. Okay, so now in the last video we learned how to perform basic calculation in Python, but in that we were creating a variable, we were assigning some value to it, and then we were calculating. But what if I want a user to input the variables? So for that I need to do, let's first create a variable called num1. Then I need to type input. Okay, and then num2 I need to type input again. So what input does is that it would give us a text box where we can type our own values of the variables. So now if I write print num1 plus num2, so if I run this, there's a prompt over here. If I press 2, then num1 has the value of 2, and then for num2 let's press 3. So num2 has the value of 3, but num1 plus num2 should give 5. It's giving 23. Now why is that? Because input by default only accepts strings, so it is reading num1 and num2 as strings. To check that, we can just create a new code here and write type num1. As you can see, it's str. Str means string, like we discussed in the last video. So what num1 plus num2 is doing in this case is that it is concatenating two strings. So 2 plus 3 becomes 23 instead of 5. So to remedy that, we need to change the data type of this variable. So to do that, we can just type int input and make sure the input is in the parentheses of int. Okay, do the same with num2. So now the numbers will be read as integers. So if I do that again and press 2 and then 3, the output is 5. Okay, so now that's done. So let's create some text which makes it more understandable for the user as well. So just type print enter number 1 and then write num1 is equal to int input, and then just type print enter number 2 and num2 is equal to int input. Alright, so now let's store the sum of these variables in another variable called num3, which is equal to num1 plus num2. Alright, so now I need to print the output. So for that I can just write print the sum of two numbers is. Now if I just write num3 here, that would work because it will just type num3 in the output. So for that I need to create curly braces over here, and then after the double quotes I need to write dot format num3. We will talk more about the format function when we will go into the depth of strings. Alright, so for now let's just press enter, and it's showing here enter num1 and it's waiting for our input. So let's just give 2, it's giving enter num2, let's give 3, and then the sum of two numbers is 5. So instead of that, if we hadn't written format, so let's just see what happens then. If we had written this, then what would have happened? If I give it 2, then 3, then it's just showing the sum of two numbers is num3. So we have to write format and then the parentheses to display where the output is going to be in the sentence. So that's it for this video. In the next tutorial we are going to learn about the conditional statements, the logical operators, and all the loops in Python. So thank you and see you in the next video.